Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger, I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a
先上回すこと以外に
Watch out for this shit, Imran. Watch
日本
out.
じゃないですね。結構ね、ルイズ・プリモ選手の情報って意外と少ないですよね。
少ないんですよ。SNS でね、このピザ生地を回しながら戦う姿の動画がですね、
そうですね。
めちゃくちゃバズったんですが、そのバズった以上の情報が入ってこないんですよね。
そうなんですよ。
今度はピザ
Oh, Mario for the win.
Did you like that? What do you think about that shit? Did you like, I saw your face when he threw the dough to the guy and he caught it.
That is amazing. That's like Jake the Snake Roberts, only with pizza dough. Why not? And you could still make a pie afterwards.
That guy, he should have been on Shogun.
Dude, that was like if Mario was a professional wrestler, the drop kick.
Did you hear about this new event they're at the Olympics this year?
What is it? Oh, sleep running?
It's straight out of the Shogun recaps, episode recaps. You know?
Oh, it's I see what they're doing. I didn't get. It's a little pix. I see. It's a bang and run.
There you go. Hey, there you go, folks. MCU'S Bleeding Edge. You know, breaking news. Here you go. We're not just a geek nerd comedy live stream. You know, whatever the fuck you want to call us or whatever. Fucking bunch of savage motherfuckers. We're also breaking news now, like cultural news, and like that's a new addition to the Olympics. They're gonna have a new event.
You like the Olympics? You Olympics guy? You excited?
Fuck the Olympics, man.
All right.
I can give a fuck less.
I guess not. Yeah.
I like synchronized swimming and diving and shit like that and whatnot and all that. I like some of it. I like track and field.
You know, the whole world is interested.
Yeah, I like the Olympics, dude. Come on, it's the fucking Olympics. I like athletics.
No, it's funny how like everybody is into shot put for like a few weeks and then we forget about it, right?
I'm actually feeling insecure with it. It's been 2 minutes and 15 seconds. We've been live and there's nobody on here yet. I'm looking at the counter and it's 0 and it's like, oh, it's Saturday. I don't usually live stream on Saturday. So like, of course, you know, it might take a minute to get going, right? But like, no, I didn't do a lot of heavy folks. I didn't heavily promote this Shogun number 2, part 2 recap that I'm doing here with Imran from Jock and Nerd Podcast. We're waiting for Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos to join us here on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge YouTube channel podcast. We appreciate you. Those of you who do make it, you know, hopefully some of you will come from the Jock and Nerd Facebook group, right? At least one person.
Somebody.
Yes.
Somebody. Or we're talking to listeners in the replay. Thanks for watching this back. Look, I'm happy to talk about Shogun one last time. Because honestly, after this, I think I'm probably Shogunned out, but this will be a nice way to close out, having some time, you know, after the finale and having watched the whole series, you can sit with it. You get some perspective. And that's,
so do you think I planned it well, like to do the recaps? I took a week off, right?
Yeah.
Set 2 of them. That's it,
yeah.
Right? And then we're moving on. We got all new shows to cover and all that and whatnot, right? We're done with Fallout in 1 week. So
plus, for like anybody who hasn't seen it now, you can binge the whole thing. Like it's the perfect time to watch Shogun. You don't have to wait. You can start episode 1 and work your way all the way through. And I think some people sometimes wait and don't watch it live, specifically to just binge it later.
If you didn't watch Shogun, man, I don't know what to tell you.
I know. There's some people that didn't. That's what I'm saying. But now,
I'm just kidding. That's all right.
I feel like
people get busy. Life happens.
Yeah, no, but I feel like it's gonna have a lot more eyeballs moving forward, right? More people are gonna discover it.
Oh yeah,
everybody heard the word of mouth. This was a water cooler show, and it's rare when you have those.
Hulu is still promoting it, like whatever they like in every little avenue that you can think of, right? Like you know, even little small things like when you go to a advertisement on Hulu, it's literally scenes from Shogun.
I've seen commercials for FX, and not only that, now the Hulu it's in Disney Plus. So if you go to Disney Plus, you will also watch all Shogun right now. You'll see those ads. So I think it'll be around for a while, and people are still going to be talking about it.
Was it always on Disney Plus the whole time?
Yeah, they recently added Hulu.
But it's weird because it is Shogun and FX's show. Like it's theirs.
Oh, hi, Douglas. Yeah, no, it's there. I mean, Disney owns FX and Hulu now. I guess Hulu, and it's on there. It was there as the show was coming out.
When I saw when I first saw the first article about the confirmation of season 2 and 3, it literally said it specified FX and Hulu signed off on 2 more seasons. Like that was how it was brokered or explained, right?
Yeah.
As them conjoined, right?
Yeah.
This, along with Hiroyuki decided to go forward.
Yeah, and that was interesting. Is that Sonata really wanted to do it? But that's FX is the linear network. Hulu is the streaming end of the same thing. So there's a lot of originals that are like.
Well, why wouldn't he want to do it? I mean, fuck, man. Look at like the success of the work he put in and all that and whatnot. I'm sure on his end, he probably sees the same thing we do, which is the way that they left the first season. We can call it that. The way they left it, there's space for them to move right on.
Well, I want to talk about this, but I want to hear Gerald's thoughts too. If he's what should we give him some more time?
This is the reverse curse of like when I did the annual recap show with him when he came on, and it was a shit for me.
Yeah,
my Wi-Fi, and it was all fucked, and I wasted his time. This is like the curse.
So Disney merged with Hulu in March of this year, or Hulu merged with Disney. Hulu showed up on Disney in March, so the show had been running at that time. But
with Gerald, I think we should wait. Yeah, I don't want to like start on my outline or anything like that until he comes in. So in the meantime, I think we should probably do like a full down deep dive into like either the bearded lady video or this one here.
What's going on here?
This fine gentleman.
The gentleman. He seems to be humping the wall where there's a picture. It's her belly button. Are his pants down? Okay, there's an advertisement.
This, of course, occurred in Shogun episode 2, folks.
Oh, this is a bonus blooper reel from Shogun episode 2. What is he? Is he banging is he fucking the wall?
Yeah, he's fucking a poster.
He's fucking the poster. Okay, it looked like in the belly button too, which is odd. That's like right where her belly button. Well,
what would the jock think of this? Some of these fucking video clips I play and shit.
I mean, he's seen some weird things. He wouldn't. It takes. I don't think it would surprise him. Maybe some of it. He would appreciate it.
One of my favorites is going back to like when I dropped that fucking that TikTok everything can be a dildo video. Right when I did, and you gave me props on the jump cut drop without all that everything and whatnot. That's like I'm gonna treasure that forever. As like you like a moment of you like giving me props. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like forever.
You were quick. Listen, it was quick and it was perfect.
It was perfect. Yeah, it was perfect.
An S-hole or a nation in decline. But in actuality, as I dive deep here, Europe is actually doing a lot better than we think. And if anything, the gap between Europe and US in terms of like performance is actually narrowing.
That big red, that one red line right there is Yabu's line. Yes, Yabu.
That alone is.
Yeah, it's like up top there at the end. That's Yabu's shit.
I thought that looked familiar.
Yeah, but yeah, I go deep into the analysis, and yeah, I post at least once a week. You can also find me on X. Yeah, I actually posted a new one actually about the China's Belt and Road Initiative. It's quite interesting and my longest piece ever.
Wow, it's just so interesting. Look at you. It's quite intellectual there, Jason.
This actually explains me when I wear my Yamushige loincloth right there. You see that little drop off right there? Yeah. That's when I have the loincloth on, right? Like my knob bulge. You see that depression? There you go.
And it goes back up, but Jeff, it goes back up after that.
Well, there you go. There she is. Hey, Kim.
Hey, I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, don't be sorry. You got on. That's all that matters.
I did. I had to put the StreamYard app on my phone. I was like, let me just do it with my phone.
We were actually just going around the panel, Kim, and I was asking everybody, who do you think's got a bigger dick? Yamushige or Blackfoot?
How did I know you were going to say that?
I think Blackfoot does, but I favor him.
I know, that's why I asked you the question. You know what I'm saying? What do you think, Sarin? Who's got the bigger private part down there? Yamushige or with this loincloth or Blackfoot? Who's got the longer sword?
Blackstone, Blackfoot, Blackstone, Blackthorn.
Blackfoot.
We named him. Yes, sir. We called him like all kinds of different names.
Blackseed oil.
Black beard as well.
What do you think? So you're picking Blackfoot on that one? You think Blackfoot's probably got the bigger cannon?
Oh, hell yeah.
What do you think, Imran?
I mean, look, you just got to look at the bulge, right? It tells the whole story.
Yo, Yamashiki's bulge was impressive. What do you think,
Some of the bulges are pretty big. So
you like that? Sure. That was a big bulge, right?
There are some impressive bulges on the show. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, I can't make a decision on the spot here.
Andres, could you pull off that loincloth like Yamashiki?
No.
Oh man, Imran, episode 7 of Shogun, our recap is classic. It is like literally like you should save it, brother. I'm serious. You should grab it and save it so you have it.
I did 6 and 7, and I did 9 and 10, I believe. Right?
Something like that.
Those were all great. That was a great.
They were all great. Yeah,
they're each different in their own way. But
we had different people on the different shows. There was different energy.
Yeah.
But you bring a good energy to the show. That was a really good show. We had a really good one going. That was a really good atmosphere on that one. Folks, we are waiting to start our official Shogun deep dive here, our recap part number 2, because we're waiting for Gerald Glassford for Pop Culture Cosmos to join us. Just to be clear, we're killing some time. So Imran, while we're killing time, why don't you go ahead and tell me what you're doing at Jock and Nerd Podcast? These days, like what the deal is over there.
Oh, we're just covering geek entertainment news and reviewing movies and TV shows. We just reviewed X-Men 97 season 1. Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
Yes, sir. We've got one more episode review left to do. We've got episode 10 to finish on Monday.
What do you think so far?
Oh, it was outstanding.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. My only thing is, have you seen Invincible?
No, I've heard about it.
Oh. So X-Men 97 is great, but you have to watch Invincible because it's a little unfair to compare because Invincible is R-rated. It's graphic, violent, sweary, and they're longer episodes. But man, that's probably X-Men 97 is like the best X-Men adaptation I've seen yet. Invincible easily, along with The Boys, is the best comic book TV show that's out there, easily top.
Yeah,
Boys and Invincible.
It's tough when you haven't watched certain stuff and everything and whatnot, and a lot of people that you meet tell you really good things about certain TV shows or certain movies, right? You just haven't seen them. Hey, there he is. Hey, Gerald.
Oh my God,
Gerald.
Computers suck sometimes. All I'll say.
I figured it was the curse, Gerald, like that. Remember the last time you came on to be on the panel was when I tried to do an Andor recap or some shit with you or the Mandalorian or something like that. Remember my Wi-Fi at the hotel was garbage? This was like payback.
No, my 1995 486 Pentium with the hamster running around the Habit Trail didn't get itself going until just now. So
The hamster got tired. Hamsters
exactly.
Got tired, yes.
But we've been stalling and go ahead and get out of the way, like all of the hardcore, heavy R-rated, video clips and whatnot and all that while you weren't here. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and drop them.
You use the
all the good stuff.
Just all the good stuff.
Because Imran he's into that
Imran.
wild and crazy stuff.
Gerald, it's so good to see you. It's been a while.
It's been a while, my friend. Always good to hear from you.
Thanks. You too. I see you.
What are you hanging around this guy for?
I know. I feel like Casanova over here. I put you guys together,
it happened. Listen, Jeff saw me standing at the back of the room at the party, just standing at the corner.
I picked him up in the back of the bus, baby.
Yeah.
We're like what's left over from the I guess the 2010s of pop culture podcast.
Right? Gerald, how long have you been going now?
2009.
I'm actually dead. I died years ago when everything. I'm a ghost.
Was my first podcast.
2009. Wow. Yeah, I've been going since 2015. So Gerald is he's the veteran.
For real.
That's amazing.
Or the idiot.
I can't even imagine.
But to see you still doing it all these years and consider it's a great feeling and it keeps me going as well. So
I just love talking to people about things I enjoy talking about. And when you said Shogun, I don't know, are you guys on your overall thoughts on this show yet, or where we at?
I waited to start my official outline. So, folks, we're going to start our Shogun actual, recap show now. The whole Imran and Jeff show that Imran and I have always
I'll watch that.
We always wanted to do it anyway. We were going to try it out over there. That was our best shot.
Yeah, we did a soft pilot.
I hope we'll see what happens with it. But my first question for y'all, and I'll start with you, Gerald, since you're coming on. You're just getting on here. I know you want to talk some Shogun. I'm ready to talk some Shogun. Basically, what I wanted to ask you to start off with, which was, which episodes, if you had to pick 3 out of 10, right off the outline that I already sent you before, would be your top 3 overall across the series, and then of course why. And I'll start with you, Gerald. So your top 3 episodes.
My top 3 episodes. Well, first off, I want to say that 9 of the 10 episodes for Shogun are simply outstanding.
9.
9.
What's the one
of the 10?
I wonder what the one is.
But these are the kind of questions you have to ask on a recap show, Gerald. I've read the playbook. This is one of them.
I'm gonna say, well, number 9 is probably the number 1 in my book as far as that's concerned. I think that was really one of the best episodes of television this year, period. I'd probably say the way it leads you in, if it goes season 1, episode 1, probably say with Anjin. I think that probably would be a good one as well. But I also want to go ahead and give The Servants of Two Masters episode 2 as well. 1, 2, and 9. Although again, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all great episodes as well. Episode 9, A Crimson Sky, I think really got the series to its heights and the climax as far as it's concerned before episode 10.
It's tough to just make those. They have to boil it down to those 3 episodes, isn't it?
Yeah, it is because the middle episodes, for varying reasons, are really well done as well. So yeah, I had a great time watching it for 90% of the actual series. So.
Gerald, did you watch the original and or read the book at all?
I did watch the original series with Richard Chamberlain. I was surprised why they asked cosmojarvis to do the same type of look and beard and things. Like, were you really trying to go for that same type of route as Richard Chamberlain? Come on, give me a break here. But okay. I did read the book as well, but my main memories, because that was such a long time ago, was more of the TV series at that point in time, which again, if you're old enough as I am, you remember captivating broadcast television audiences, because we loved as a group those huge mini series that were around the late 70s, early 80s. It just seemed to captivate us as a general audience, because that was special. That was event pop culture for us.
Like a la Battlestar Galactica, right?
No, that's a series though. That's not a.
No, you had the Thorn Birds. I remember that was a big
Roots.
one. Roots was the big one. Yes.
Yeah. So those are the late 70s. That was more of a mini series that was that was there for the entire public to watch and just be captivated by, because you knew it was limited in the time that you would be seeing it, as opposed to Battlestar Galactica, which was a series which was episodic, looking for different seasons. But Roots, Shogun, those were epic mini series at that point in time. Roots was absolutely well done. Shogun, the original, was, as I look back upon it now, maybe not all the best for all the different together reasons, but it was late 1970s, early 80s type stuff. So again, this was so much better for 90% of what you're seeing, and so much of a better representation of the novel as well.
Imran, the same question to you, sir. Pick your 3 episodes, please.
Man, no, I right away I agree with Gerald. No, episode 9 is the best out of the whole series. It is fantastic, and that it is like kind of it's called Crimson Sky for a reason, right? It's the big, and then there's kind of an epilogue and a decompression episode. That's episode 10. But I also like the Ladies of the Willow World. I thought it was very good.
Yes,
when we start getting more flashbacks, right? And how Lady Ochiba's character starts to get informed and changes, and you see all these connections. That was great. And also, I think the first episode is fantastic. It sucks you in and you want to keep watching over and over again. And the finale is not bad. It is somewhat satisfying. We can get into the finale. But
that's where we have a disagreement, my friend.
that's the thing. This show, every stage of the way, was for me unexpected. I was
you've got the finale as an outlier. Like if you had like a fourth pick, that would be like your fourth pick or whatever.
That's the one, isn't it, Gerald?
That's the Game of Thrones for me.
Oh no,
as far as where it didn't, where it's truly brilliant but didn't stick the landing.
Well, that's because the episode leading up to the finale can't kill that next episode. Like it can't that usually doesn't work out well.
Well, when the best character leaves, or in this case, removed from the series, it is so hard to sustain that momentum that she.
That's a good way to use it. Momentum, right there, Gerald.
9 episodes.
Yeah,
she is the driving force, and everybody, just around her. The whole story is told, quite a bit through her. And when she is just this driving force and does such a great job of acting, and I'm talking about Anna Sawai.
Yeah.
She is just absolutely magnificent. You might as well just give her the Emmy right now. But, when she is dispatched of, per the book.
That's what that happens in the book. And
so it's per the book.
Yeah.
It's just that this epilogue episode with the flash forwards of as a cosmojarvis character as an old man, and Yabashigwe, like going in and out of whatever he was doing, throughout the entire. Okay, am I crazy? Am I not crazy? Oh, was I just trying to put you on that? And then obviously at the very end, the surprise that. No need to go to war. I was just kidding you guys all along. I was the evil mastermind.
Yeah, it's done.
Trying to get the Shogun all along. Yeah, that was like, okay.
So do you feel like we needed a battle? Like, were they even promising a battle? I think we all wanted a battle. And the show's called Shogun, and we don't actually see anybody become the Shogun.
To the entire audience out there that wasn't privy to the book or to the previous miniseries, you're watching the advanced, trailers and things of that nature that started to get people talking about this series. It heavily hinted that there was going to be some type of large scale conflict.
It did.
And that is very misleading. Now, mind you, Disney is going to try and make up for it with a season 2 or 3 for a series now that absolutely, was not meant for the author, did not meant for this to happen. But you know what? They're going to continue it anyways. So you can have your battles there, I guess.
So that's very interesting to bring that up. And it's great you read the book, because this is what I want to know. And I've been thinking about, I've listened to a bunch of interviews with the creators and the producers, and they've taken a lot of care. Like, they didn't do everything straight from the book. They added a lot from what I understand.
Which I think is good. I think to modernize things to a 2024 audience, you have to pick and choose carefully what you take and don't take from the book.
Yeah, no, from I can tell they added a lot more cultural sensitivity, cultural influences, try to make it more authentic even, and not have it be like the white savior and the damsel in distress and the women don't get to do anything. So I like all the choices they made. Do you trust them now to give us the seasons 2 and 3? And where do you want it to be right after this? Or does it need to be a time jump? Or do we want to see what happens?
Well, that's a really big question. And if it's the same people that are going to be making the show, right? Like if that's the case, if that's the kicker, the same people are going to be installed.
Crew, everything.
All of it. Yeah, it's all going to be the same people, right? You're not going to be able to get some of the directors to come back or whatnot. Some of the writers maybe, but most you figure Kondo, right? That did the podcast.
Yeah.
That was one of the show creators.
Yeah.
And her partner there, if they bring them back, and they the same team, Gerald, right? That's the only kicker I would add to it. I would assume that it would still be quality television, at least. Maybe not the first season of Shogun.
Well, another reason why episode 10 for me was a downer is because, again, the flash forwards for Blackthorn, if you make a season 2 and a season 3, if you include him in on it, because at the end of the episode 10, he's building the ship, or they're trying to bring the ship back, and they're trying to get that built together. I don't know if you go forward from there. if you include him as a character in all this, he survives. There's no threat of danger for him in any peril whatsoever because you've already backed yourself into a corner by saying he survives. It's just like Furiosa when you go see that. If you go see Mad Max Furiosa,
I saw it. It's so good.
Yeah, if however good it is, you already know
she's not
she
die.
survives.
Yeah. No, but so those flash forwards, that's what I thought too. But could you interpret that as a fever dream by Blackthorn, essentially him letting go of this future he would have had in England?
Well, that's what they wanted you to believe in from the show's perspective was that it was just like dreams that he was having.
It was just poorly made.
It
has no
the shit out
business being there. It just has no business being there. If you're watching it, you're just relying, why is it here?
Yeah,
is it necessary?
Unnecessary? No, completely. They could have taken that out. Yeah.
Did it do anything to enhance that last episode? Because you're basically already getting over the loss.
Yeah.
Of Mariko, and it just seemed like that this addition of these flash forwards were pointless.
Yeah,
and that's again that Yabashigue's like, okay, am I crazy? Am I not crazy? Oh, I'm totally fine. He's crazy for like 10 minutes of the actual episode, and then the rest of the time, he's absolutely lucid and fine when he's conversating, with Sonata's character Toranaga. And it's just it was last episode. I just felt that it just felt so out of place because you had 9 episodes of brilliance and the 10th episode is just, I wanted it to be good. I wanted it to be great. And
I heard they had to kill Yabu off because his bulge, the contractual demands his bulge had for season 2 and 3 were so steep. His death was impending just because he was playing both sides for so long.
Yeah,
and and that I understand his death. That's not an issue with me. It's how he went crazy for all of 15 minutes. Suddenly he's traumatized by all this going back and forth and the repercussions of it. But it doesn't stay. So if he's going to go crazy, he's got to stay crazy for the rest of the episode instead of let's move away. Let's move away from episodes for a minute and let's switch over to characters. And I'll do my next question and I'll start with you, Imran. So top 3 characters in episodes 6 through 10 in no specific order, or you can order them if you want to. Feel free, but just make sure that you explain why. Give me your top 3 characters in episodes 6 through 10 specifically.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to pick the top 3, the main dudes, right? Toranaga, Blackthorn, Mariko. But instead, I would like to highlight, like I said earlier, Lady Ochiba, how much we learn about her. Completely good, gives her so much more dimension. And really, her and Mariko are they're both victims of, the patriarch, whatever, how things are done. They just had different experiences and ended up in different places. So I thought all that Lady Mariko stuff was really good because in the beginning, you just think she's like evil for, you don't know why, but they did a good job, making her, giving her some depth. Then I'm going to say, I know, because we're not going to talk about the other 3 anyways. Yabushige, just always bring in the humor and the funny moments, and you love him, you hate him.
So are you saying your top 3 for episodes 6 through 10 are the 3 main characters? Anasawi, cosmojarvis, and
it's gotta be.
Okay, and then my next question was going to be your top 5 characters overall across the series. All right. Yeah. So now pick your top 5 across the whole span of the 10 episodes. Go ahead.
Man, so hard. But there it is. I would put those 3 and Lady Ochiba and Yabushige, I think, would be my.
That's your 5?
That's going to be my 5.
You sure?
Yes. Lock it in. Do I win?
All right. You had a small window there where you could have made a substitution if you wanted to get somebody off the bench. Gerald. Same question to you, sir. Episodes 6 through 10, right? That arc, the midpoint, and then moving forward through the dismal episode 10 with the Blackthorn Seppuku. In no specific order, or you can order them. Your top 3 characters, are they the same as Imran's?
Well, absolutely. Oh, in many ways, yes. I mean, you have to start and stop with Mariko, and with Anna Sawai doing, again, as I said, a brilliant job with her performance. And then after that, obviously, you have Toranaga, with Horiyuki Sanada doing a great job as well. But, his episode 10 really did not do those three main characters justice, I think, all in many ways. And that's part of the reason why I didn't think it stuck the land.
Hate that episode. Jeez.
I hate that episode. I just can't. It's just maybe it's actually a decent episode.
Yeah.
But because it is not anywhere near the other 9,
yeah,
I think that's where I just loathe it even more, is because it just took a nosedive, and I'm very sad. It took a Game of Thrones nosedive, and I'm very, very sad. But about that.
Gerald, if you don't mind me just saying real quick, I had a natural inclination on my part where I automatically knew that episode 9 was such a game changer, and it was the ultimate particular episode, of Shogun, that I knew that whatever was going to come off that was not going to be of the same level, right?
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it couldn't be.
But again, where the character direction for the 3 main characters that were there, Yabashikwe, as far as having Toranaga, and also as well Blackthorn. The 3 favorites of that mine, to answer your first question, was Mariko, Toranaga, and Yabashikwe. But again, at the final episode, just did not give those 3 main characters left the bit of justice, I think, fleshing out that I think they deserve.
I mean, we don't even get Mariko's funeral. They just jump over it, right? He wakes up and she's buried. And I was like, what?
And I want to know how he was even out in the first place, because you see his last moments with
holding
her,
her, right?
Then all of a sudden he's out for weeks.
That is a good question.
What's up with that?
Good question. I didn't think.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah. Were the commercials that boring?
Yeah, there's a lot of holes there. So yeah, no, but look, Toranaga, ultimately, what a great character in the back half, because while the first half, you really didn't know what the plan was, right? He's holding.
You thought he was this great guy that you support. Yeah, as a leader.
You had and you don't know what he's doing. He doesn't tell anybody anything. And for him to lose these characters in succession, his son, then Hiramatsu, then Mariko, like it forced him to open up his emotions, and we start getting more. So I felt like he really opened up by the end because of these losses that some he planned for and some he didn't, and just improv around. Like that is a wild journey. But he was smart. He knew I can't take an army into Osaka. I will be slaughtered. Like, as much as I wanted a battle, he's like, you can't have a battle. We'd be dead. It's not going to work. But then he shows us what happened.
Before I go over to Gerald for his top 5 characters over across the span of the series, I'm going to play some video clips.
Insist it is forbidden to bring your weapons today.
Nonsense. Your people bring swords wherever they go.
He says guns are different. You must turn them over.
Iye. Wakarimasu ka iye. Not his prisoner anymore. Where I come from, you ask guests to do things.
Please. There is no need for this. You are protected as Hatamoto.
For some reason, I just can't shake the memory of our first meeting. Iye.
マリコ様、アンジー様におっしゃってくださりませ。鉄砲は私にお預けくだされと。Give the guns to Fuji-sama. She's your consort. She will give her life to defend them.
I can damn well defend myself.
アンジー様。お預けくださりませ。
Get him, Fuji.
Till this milk dribbling fucks me, I'm ready to go.
心得違いがあったと丁重に詫びておられまする。
鉄砲。
お引き取りくださりませ。
このような夜更けに何をしておる。
お怪我はござりませぬか。
石堂が血迷ったな。
かくなる上は戦じゃ。
いや、これは石堂の仕業ではない。真珠を安心に貸してやった。私は安心がいるはずの客間に身を隠しておったのじゃ。刺客が狙ったのはわしではなく。
Ooh, man, I'm telling you. Gerald, I'm sorry, Ron, go ahead.
I'm saying that's my favorite Fuji moment.
That was your Fuji moment?
It's fantastic. And then that cosmojarvis gives that little chuckle. It's fantastic.
Well,
It's
Fuji would be in my top 5. Characters.
This is your take. This sir, the late is yours. Drop your top 5.
I gave you my 3. Then I'd add on Blackthorn as number 4, but Fuji is number 5. Definitely, I think they needed to flesh out her character a little bit more in the back end. They kind of forgot about her after I think 7 or 8 right there. They kind of forgot about her character a little bit, which was disappointing because she is very good in the brief moments that she's in from time to time. I think there was a period of time where they were focusing on her character, obviously what happened to her husband and her son, as far as traditional culture at that period of time, having to sacrifice themselves for whatever, for the dishonor that they created, at least the husband created. And then, to see her having to live through that pain and then ultimately making the choice that she did as far as going at the very end to become a nun. I don't know. I just at the very end, I would have loved to see her character more developed because of the fact that she was chosen as Blackthorn's consort. And then I'm not asking for a relationship between those two, but just her being more out in front and center as far as being a part and being more invested in what's going on. They kind of seem to just go ahead and just phase her out for long chunks of the back half of the series. And I just would like to see more of her character develop over the course of the story.
I wanted them to get to like be together and shit and whatnot, everything. I was also bobbing out on it. I won't lie for once. I was like all about it. I wanted to see Blackfoot when I knew Blackfoot was going to go to Fuji and be like demand that she has to stay or whatever. I was really hoping that Fuji was going to be like, okay, Edge and San, I'll stay for you or whatever, whatnot, because I feel bad because your girl's dead or whatever, so like. Or whatever, like I got nothing else to do. But I actually heard a hot rumor, Gerald, from one of my insider sources that it was actually Fuji threatened to seppuku herself for the 377th time. You know what I'm saying? In like the last 3 months, that how they got season 2 and 3. Oh, she threatened to seppuku without they didn't do the second season or third. The actress did it. Whoa, she so got into the character of Fuji. That now she actually threatened to seppuku.
It's method.
That is method. But we'll see what happens. She is going to be. I don't know if she's going to return. Because she's going to become a nun. I don't know what they have planned for her. I also want to give honorable mention to Rodriguez.
He was great. I wish there was more of him.
Yeah, exactly. So they just dropped him like a bad habit. Yeah. They gave a sprinkling of him later in the series, but they just dropped him like a bad habit.
His appearances were way too early in the show. By the time you got to like episodes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, he was a memory.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where you could have fit him in though. I mean, he did great in the beginning, getting you introduced to. You need someone there to explain the Blackthorn. Like,
hey, he could be in a season 2 or 3 or something like that. He could be a returning character because you figure that you asked earlier, Imran, where do you think how they're going to pick up or where will they pick up? I think they'll pick up right from where they're at, maybe a couple of weeks after or something like that or whatever. And you're going to have what the show will be about. Is they'll bring the Jesuits in. Right, and the whole, that whole angle with Toranaga, right? The fact that they have that base in Macau, that threat of the Portuguese and all that and whatnot, right? And the Catholicism, the Catholic priests.
Yeah.
That's where they're going to go, I believe, right? I don't know about y'all, but I really actually thought that like one of the things what you want, Gerald, episode 10. I thought one of the really good, great moments of it was seeing Blackfoot, as we like to call him, and Father Alvido kind of come to an understanding, if you want to say so, right? That was surprising. I know Imran. I know you said that that's what Shogun does is like
unexpected
the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying?
Always does the opposite. And they both were in love with Mariko, so it was for her that they.
Well, I'll do my my picks. I'll do my top 3 for 6 out of 10, but mine are going to be like the ones that nobody else is picking because they're just not on the popular radar.
Sure.
So my 3 are going to be most definitely Botero, Ashido, and Jin, the lady Jin.
Oh yeah, she was great. That's great too. There were so many great characters.
Yes,
Lady Jin killed it in a stick of time.
Yeah, stick of time. I love that phrase too. Like the whole idea of give me a stick.
Imran, I know you'd like that because I know you really like that scene. That scene really when we were Imran did like 4 or 5 of the episode recaps with us, Gerald on Shogun. So like me and him have been like brothers of another mother, of the same mother here recently. But this is our last taste of Shogun. My top 5 overall for the series will be Lady Ochiba, and I would say Kiku. Kiku's great. That actress is great. The Lady Ochiba actress plays that character with such elegance and like this. She has this crazy eye about her or whatever. Look to her like almost like when she was like along with her the way she delivers her lines. She can be very powerful and like almost like like scary almost. She can
soften right away. Like
just her pace or like tenor or whatever.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but and then Yabu's the man. You got Yabu is like the man. I'm serious. He brought all the he was the comedic relief of Shogun, right? And the bulge scene, right, with the loincloth will forever be etched in the echoes of Bleeding Edge history. The bulge scene, and so that's Yabu, and then my other top 2 would probably be, let's see.
Don't forget Father Domingo.
Yeah,
Father Alvido.
Was
really strong in his scenes. He was really really good, and also Hiramatsu.
Oh yes, Hiramatsu is very good too. So.
Iron Fist, or whatever the fuck his nickname was, or whatever. Iron Claw, or whatever they called him, or Iron Bull. I don't know. He had some nickname, but Hiramatsu was badass, man. His episodes, and I never picked my episodes. My top 3 episodes are going to be episode 10, episode 2, Servants of Two Masters, and then bouncing off of Imran, Ladies of the Willow World. So those are my picks. Eightfold Fence is up there too. That was a really good one.
That one's good. How are you not gonna put 9 in their list? Come on, 9 is like the
because I'm trying to be oddball here. I'm trying to pick the stuff that's not super popular right now.
I get you.
I could easily just pick Anasawi and cosmojarvis and Hiroki Sanada as their characters as my top 3.
But it's obvious, right? Like that's obvious.
Yes.
There's a lot of other great characters.
Somebody's got to talk about these other names so that we can discuss them and we can flesh them out because Shogun would not be what it is without Ishido.
Did you think Yabushige got his proper deserved fate? And how did you feel about him throughout the show? Because he's hilarious, but you get mad at him because he's always in it for his self-interest. Playing both sides. I thought that his ending was actually poetic, and it happens in episode 10.
Gerald, go ahead, Gerald.
Oh, again, as I told you guys earlier, I just thought, you knew it was coming. When he played both sides long enough, like he did throughout the entire series, his ways are going to come to an end. And I understand him feeling guilt because his actions led to the death of Mariko.
Yeah.
I understand that. And you could, that would have been a great part of episode 10 that he could convey that. But and he does to an extent. But the fact him going crazy for 15 minutes and then fine, you stick to one or the other, not do both. And that was the problem I had. But that demise, his demise was already destined by episode 2 or 3. You already know, because he's playing both sides, where that's headed for him, because that's just a narrative that's going to be coming about when you watch enough TV. You know that the guy playing both sides is going to eventually get burnt because he did it too much.
But did you know by who? That I thought that Toranaga having to do it was kind of
that was obviously very, very good that they put that part of it.
Yeah.
And with the long exposition of exactly who was behind all of this, and you learn then that Toranaga was the mastermind all along. And so
it's a great way to get the confession and the story to, during this thing. And then I even love the line, like, why should I tell the future to a dead man? It's like, just tell me anyways. And Toranaga's like, you could be dead. What's the point?
Why not? Yeah, let's chat.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tell me anyways.
All right, so where I wanted to move on to, guys, was basically I wanted to just, follow the off of the outline that I had last recap show where we broke down episodes 1 through 5, and just very simply, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to read through the the wiki synopsis for the episode 6 through 10. I'll start with 6. I'll just read through it real quick, and then I've got some talking points on here, but I'm just going to just basically get your thoughts overall and take as much time as you want on the episode, and then we'll just run right through them like that. Just, I'll give you one chance to talk on the episode based off the what I'm going to read here, and then we'll move right on from episode to episode. And if we have any, any counters off that or any discussion off that, then we'll obviously follow through with it. But so obviously episode 6 is Ladies of the Willow World. And the director on that one was Hiromi Kamada. The writer was Megan Huang. And in 1578, Mariko was living at the home of warlord Kuroda Nobuhishi. She becomes friends with his daughter, the future Ochiba, and witnesses Nobuhisa executing her father's allies. In 1600, Toranaga bestows Blackthorn with an admiralty and a fief, and Blackthorn's request to leave Japan is denied. Toranaga reveals to Mariko that Jinsei wanted her to continue his work of protecting Japan. At Osaka Castle, the remaining 3 regents and their families have been taken hostage by Ochiba and Ishido under the pretense that there is a plot to kill Yachio. Hiramatsu escapes, but must leave the others behind. Ochiba believes Toranaga plotted her father's death, and she and Ishido offer Idu, an influential warlord, a seat in the council. Sugiyama refuses to confirm Idu and tries to flee Osaka with his family, but Ishido kills them. Hiramatsu reaches Ijiro and informs Toranaga of the situation in Osaka. Toranaga's war council wants to use the secret Crimson Sky plan to defeat Ishido. Toranaga refuses, understanding that this will most likely make him the new shogun. When news of Sugiyama's death reaches Ijiro, Toranaga realizes that his impeachment is inevitable and invokes Crimson Sky to protect Yakio and limit future bloodshed. Okay, so I'll go to you first, Gerald. Your thoughts, sir. Episode 6, Ladies of the Willow World. Any highlights, anything you want to bring back? I know that this is a while ago, weeks ago since you watched this episode. Anything you want to mention, or remark?
Not really. I mean, the political behind the scenes stuff that's going on, and that that they're all scheming to go ahead and try and dispose of Toranaga. One of the things I would have liked also as well in the beginning episodes is just more dissension on why Toranaga is such an outcast. I would have liked that a little bit explained a little bit better, outlined it a little bit better as why Toranaga is such an outcast to the rest of the council, the rest of the warlords, and explain why he's in a self-imposed exile in the first place. I think that would have been little tiny bit better, just as far as a little nitpick from those early episodes. But as it goes on, you understand who Toranaga is and why he's considered a threat, and the fact that they want to get rid of that threat, and how they utilize trying to get rid of that threat is creative. It's good, and I like what they did in this episode to go ahead and build up to that.
Imran, the famous brothel scene is in this episode.
Yes.
Now I know you want to say something about that. Jin also makes an appearance in this one, a really good appearance, when she negotiates the price of Blackfoot's pillowing.
Oh, right.
So she had a solid scene too, right? So this episode had a lot of good stuff.
That's right. This was the sexiest episode you are gonna ever watch, where nobody takes their clothes off. But man, the sexual tension was there. The shots of the neck,
between Mariko and Blackthorn.
Yeah,
Kiku's offer to Lady Rico to join them.
Yeah, and she does it, and then just the brushing of the hand as he walks off with her. This is the one where she's translating, right? And she does that thing where she goes from third person to first person.
Yes, it was deep.
And you're like, oh, this is what she really thinks. This is coming from her now. That was amazing. And the way they shot it, how the Lady Jin kind of fades away in the background and it focuses. Oh, it was fantastic.
The directing is awesome.
The directing is great. And then, of course, we get to learn about Crimson Sky in this episode. That got me super excited. I was like, this sounds amazing. And Toranaga doing the thing where he's like, I don't want the power. I don't want to be Shogun. That's, of course, what you say when you want to be Shogun. You say, I don't want to be Shogun. I'm doing this for Japan, not for me. But yeah, when he said Crimson Sky, I was like, yes, I want to see that. Let's do that.
That was some Braveheart type material over there for a minute. Without question.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, but was there anything else for episode 6 looking back, Imran, that you want to point out or anything? Now, this was when Ochiba kind of steps in and starts calling the shots. This was the episode where she kind of steps in and is like,
she was calling the shots before also, but now we know why she thinks Toranaga set all this up and killed her father. And I know in the book it also says like she's kind of in love with him, but they don't really allude to that here. She just blames him.
Yeah, pretty much.
So no, that's about it.
If that's all you got, then we'll and that's all you got, Gerald. Then we'll move right on to A Stick of Time. Now that one was directed by Takeshi Fukunaga, and it was written by Matt Lambert. In 1554, a young Toranaga achieves another one of the flashback to start the episodes. Achieves his first victory in a battle against the warlord Mitsuguchi, who commits seppuku. In 1600, Toranaga meets his estranged half-brother, Saiki Nobutatsu, to discuss terms of merging the two armies to invade Osaka as part of Crimson Sky. Saiki reveals he has been offered the 5th Regency in place of Sugiyama, and Toranaga must either surrender to the council in Osaka or face imminent war. Saiki also informs Yagoshiki that his general has been executed, ending his chance of successfully playing on both sides. Toranaga refuses Bantero's request to kill Blackthorn, which I thought was a really great scene, and Mariko's request to be allowed to die. Toranaga informs Saiki of his intention to surrender and declares there will be no Crimson Sky, despite protests from Nagakado and Yabushiki. Kiku and Nagakado conspire to kill Saiki at Injiro's tea house. Saiki attempts to flee the ambush, but trips into the tea house pond. However, Nagakado attempts to kill Saiki. The former slips and fatally hits his head on a rock. Episode 7, Imran. Thoughts, sir?
Man, so this is like the first of like the holy crap endings that they give us. That ending was wild. I had to rewind it. I was like, wait a minute, what just happened? Did I just see that? What did he slip on? What
he slipped on that rope. That remember Kim said that it was the rope.
The rope. The rope. So that was crazy. Yeah, the half brother thing was some great drama and tension. He didn't know which way it was gonna go. Their dinner conversation is fantastic also. And then this is one of those episodes where everybody just wants to like kill themselves, and Toranaga just has to keep going. No, not today. No, everyone's just like, I'm just gonna kill myself. Everybody just wants to die. It was very weird, like the whole time.
Was Toranaga exactly sad to see his son pass away? Really?
I don't.
Knowing the guy was pretty much a inept son.
He kills Jozen, and it buys him time. And you notice like Ishido first goes, "Oh, he's got other sons," and then Toranaga himself in the last
I got other sons.
He's like, "I got others. I got a baby. I got other sons. It's fine." They're like, "We stillborn them. Yeah, I got other."
The bonehead died. It's
Yeah,
okay. All right.
I got 12 other
Rock.
kids. Yeah. Oh, and the flashback of the seppuku is great. Now how you realize that it took him like what 9 times,
14 whacks.
strikes. Yeah. He's like, who makes a 12-year-old their second? That was great. Like, so a little backstory on Toranaga.
That was our first actual seppuku that we got to see where they actually did one.
I think that was the first most graphic one. Was that guy? Yeah, the guy in the beginning.
What do you think about that, Gerald? That was some hardcore shit, huh?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see. Well, it's good. It's good to see. That obviously the ramifications and the repercussions of it. Again, we all know who's producing this, and ultimately the studio and that's behind it could have easily said, you know what, we don't want that, and they didn't. They let it go. They trusted the producer's judgments to go ahead and see this out. Again, at the very end, with Toranaga's son doing what he did, I mean, he showed ineptness all the way throughout the series, so you had to go ahead and say, okay, his demise had to be inept as well.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have made sense if he was like this outstanding son that just led his troops to victory after victory, and all of a sudden he slips on a rock and dies. That would have made no sense. But to see his son be inept throughout and make mistakes after mistake after mistake after mistake, and again by doing that late night raid and trying to go ahead and assassinate, that assassination attempt go awry, is perfectly fit into the ineptness of Toranaga's son.
Why did nobody ever imply Kiku or attach Kiku to that whole deal? Like arrest her or something, like, was it obvious that he set up Psyche?
Maybe because customer service.
It was for the same reason that Blackthorn got knocked out for weeks, even though he was completely wide awake.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just again, maybe there's a whole line of individuals that are very, we're. I don't know. I don't want to go into it and get myself into a whole bunch of trouble there. So just there's probably certain reasons why that,
because they wrote it that way.
Yes.
There was a lot of there was Jin giving the dirt to Omi, right? On Blackfoot, on Blackthorn at the brothel. How he really was he's really into Riku and all that and whatnot. There was that going on.
She knew everything, and I just love the whole idea of female business owners in feudal Japan, like these women who had agencies and were running businesses. Like you don't see stuff like this in this time, and it was really.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it was just handled really well, and it set it apart. What are you gonna say?
I was just going to add on to that and agree with you that her knowledge and the fact that she is much more powerful. You just say, oh, she just owns the brothel and that's it. That yet she holds a lot more weight and a lot more power and knowledge than you would expect. And with that, I think it's written quite well. And as far as the sheer, again, like you said, Imran, where all the female characters are much better much better represented in this series than they ever were in the books or in the previous series.
That's it's a good update to it. Yeah.
So,
while still incorporating, the authenticity of wife beating that was accepted.
Yeah.
And things like that and whatnot, during this time period, right? To remain authentic, to the time period.
Yeah. They showed that too.
Yeah. No, and of course, this was the episode where we had the stick of time scene with Jin, where Jin called Toranaga out and said, I don't believe your shit. I don't believe that you're sick. I don't believe that you're dying or whatever, whatnot, or you're giving up, or you don't know what was going on or whatever. And then she's like, "Oh, well, who am I? I'm just an old whore."
An old whore. What do I know? It's a great line.
But she knew all along.
She knew everything. She hears everything. She sees everything. She knew everything.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So, episode 8, The Abyss of Life. It is, my bad. Directed by Emmanuel Osei Cooper. Written by Shannon Goss. And it is Toranaga and his army travel to Inu to prepare for Nakado's funeral and 49 days of mourning. Ishido proposes marriage to Ochiba, To strengthen their alliance, Albedo suggests to Toranaga that he should ally with Ochiba and overthrow Ushido, but Toranaga tells the priest to inform Ushido that he will formally surrender. Buntero and Mariko have a tea ceremony where he proposes they commit suicide to protest Toranaga's surrender. Mariko refuses. Blackthorn visits his former shipmates, and Salaman confronts him about his piloting decisions that brought them to Japan. Blackthorn offers his services to Yabushiki, who initially refuses. Dayuin, the wife of the late Taiku, suffers a stroke and begs Ochiba to end her hostilities and release the hostages before dying. Toranaga's vassals sign their names to a formal letter of surrender. The Hiramatsu commits seppuku in defiance. Toranaga reveals to Mariko that Hiramatsu committed suicide to make his enemies believe his defeat was real. Yabushiki is thus convinced and accepts Blackthorn's services. Toranaga asks Mariko to travel on his behalf to Osaka. The next morning, at the resting place of his son, Toranaga thanks Nakado and Hiramatsu and vows not to waste the time they bought. So this was a really great episode, I thought. Yeah. It has the scene from the trailer that's so classic from that Anna Soe trailer where he asks her, "Are you ready to do your duty or whatnot?" And she says yes.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on episode 8, Gerald? Do you have anything in there that you want to say?
Well, I mean, it starts for the betrayal by someone that Toranaga. I mean, he was hesitant to go to his brother in the first place, but the fact that he did go to his brother for help in the situation, and then the brother he had other plans. I liked it. I like the fact it was a nice turn, and the fact that you can't even trust one's own brother in the during the course of this series is really good. I just. No one should advocate suicide. And if you do think of those, have any of those thoughts, please go ahead and contact the National Suicide Hotline. But the way suicide is used as a weapon in this series is quite powerful. And it should be a reminder about how serious suicide is as a whole. So that's one thing I did admire about how it's just, even in that culture back then, it's represented as such a powerful thing, and it's just reminded of you as far as how today it's a little bit treated a little bit differently, but still should be respected nonetheless as far as people thoughts and heading to that point. And hopefully people who are thinking of that get the help that they need. But getting back to Shogun again, the twist of having one's own brother betray you, just leads to the twists and turns that ultimately led to what we saw in the finale.
Imran, episode 8, sir. Any highlights you want to talk about? Anything specific? This is when we get the Hiramatsu seppuku scene.
I mean, just Toranaga's performance, Hiroyuki Sanada's performance at the end of that episode, where you can see on his face, you're not sure if this is the plan. If they decided ahead of time Yabushige would do this, or if Toranaga was expecting one of them to seppuku to show Osaka that he is down, but didn't expect it to be his best friend, his right-hand man, Hiramatsu. And you see it in his eyes. He wants to tell him, don't do this. And the words that come out are the opposite, are just, then die. Then if really he's calling his bluff. And the tears coming. Oh my God. It was an amazing performance. And the fact that Hiramatsu's son has to second him, also very tragic and sad. Buntaro, after going through all that stuff.
I know.
That was crazy. But man, Sanada deserves an Emmy just for that scene right there.
I think the scenes with Buntaro going to Toranaga wanting to kill Blackthorn and all that and whatnot, Blackfoot over Mariko and all that, and how that actor played Buntaro in those scenes with Toranaga were powerful. Like, they really were. I thought they really were. I thought that he was an interesting character. Like, say what you want about him. I mean, he was a wife beater, right? That obviously was that kind of branded him from that mark.
Well, and that's the thing where like the abusive husband actually survives this story, and the woman sacrifices herself for the good of Japan, and meanwhile the abusive husband he gets to live. Right.
There you go. And so we move on then. Okay, to Crimson Sky, episode 9. Frederick E.O. Toy, Fred Toy. He likes to go by Fred Toy, with Rachel Kondo and Kaylin Puente, who wrote that. And I believe I have some Shogun episode 9 somewhere here. If I don't, I apologize. I'm sorry. Oh, I think I'm tripping on it. Oh, yeah, I do. Here we go.
ならば致し方ござりませ。お切りくだされ。宮井殿、指揮をお願いいたしまする。
光栄にございまする、マリコ様。
起勢！
マリコ様。
道を開けてくださりませ。
マリコ殿を傷つけてはならぬ。
これだけの多勢を相手に戦うことはできませぬ。私たちは戻らねばなりませぬ。されどこの者たちのせいで務めを果たすことが叶わぬのなら、かような不明を背負って生きてはいけませぬ。私は日没に自害いたしまする。木山様、同じキリシタンとして自害が大罪であることをご存知のあなた様に正式に解釈をお願いいたしまする。
Okay.
I almost forgot the bow, bow, bow.
I know the score was something else for Shogun. I don't need to read the stupid wiki things for episode 9 and 10. I don't think there's no point with all that. So I think just playing that was good enough. Imran, I'll let you go first on episode 9, sir. You can, pick whatever you want to start with or whatever, whatnot. Go with it.
Man, Mariko-sama. I mean, everything that happens in this episode is so epic and badass and unexpected. The chain of events from her in the meeting, the council, just being like, oh, by the way, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm going to take everybody with me. That's cool, right? I mean, we can leave, right? Great.
They're not hostages, right?
No, you're not holding us here, right? All right, we're just going to leave that. I'm not going to be at the poetry thing. I'm leaving. See you later. And then that scene, and then to her seppuku attempt to Blackthorn stepping up the second. Oh, my God. And then to the attack at the end, to the final frame of how they end this episode. Wow. Like probably one of the best hours of TV I've seen in a long time. This episode has everything. I
would have only added one thing.
Yeah.
And that's Blackthorn. He's appearing from above. He's just kicking back, just looking, just like, watching from above.
Yeah.
I would have had him, because if he truly cares for Mariko,
jump in.
Or at least attempt to, because if he jumps in, then it looks like a savior thing. And that's obviously not what they wanted to represent.
Oh, yeah.
But I would have had him try to attempt to, and her just go,
stop.
Don't you dare.
Whoa,
don't you dare. And just shut him down. And I don't, if you care about me at all, blah, 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 let me face this alone.
That's nice. I like that. They were just chilling up there. Like,
or he could have threatened to seppuku.
He was like, I'm just gonna watch this show. This is amazing.
Yeah, and that's the only part I didn't like, because obviously it comes out later, about the feelings between each other and all that, and I just would have had that moment to add on to it. But yeah, it was really just a powerful scene that it was all Anna Sawai. And there you go.
That whole episode, she's so good. So wait, Gerald, in the original, there's more romancy things between Blackthorn and Mariko.
Well, that's the way it was. It's back then it was more about romancy things, and
right.
The more about
you sold it almost
the savior type deal as far as Blackthorn in the old miniseries and in the book, Blackthorn would have, Blackthorn would have jumped in.
Right.
That's the way it would have been written, because, you would not have let a female character appeared to be that strong.
Yeah.
Now it's more representative of what 2024 is. And you have a strong female character trying to do this all on her own. I still would have added that little touch just to re-emphasize that
him just try.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
No matter how much you care about, if you truly care about me, let me do this.
Yeah,
it would have been great. That's just a little cherry on the top.
Yeah,
but otherwise, this is a great episode. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's to me especially the end, the way they ended it, and yeah, just absolutely.
Rachel Kondo said on the FX Shogun podcast that, in her opinion, Blackthorn stepping up to second her.
That was the moment.
That was the moment where he, in Mariko's mind, where he really expressed love for her.
Yes, by volunteering to chop your head off, the woman you love. Like that was
and that in that culture, yes, that was represented. But I just would have loved that extra little scene.
Yeah,
just to help build towards that, because him just sitting there with his hands just like this, no matter how much she's muttering under his breath, it's a
little casual.
It's very casual, and that's which is again, cosmojarvis, the way he's portrayed, Blackthorn is portrayed on it. I would have done subtle things to make it look a little bit better, but I would not have had him come to save the day, because that would have gone against what Mariko's character was. But I would have liked some type of interaction just to start reinforcing what you said, Imran, about the seppuku, and Jeff, about the seppuku being that initial realization about how much he cares about her. So
that is what's so fascinating about this adaptation, is how they made their version of the source material with a lens from 2024.
Yeah,
and using things that we see now, things that have changed to improve it. Like, it's really interesting to look at it and think about it and write it that way, but it works so well.
Yes, it does, and that's why I think this is so much better of a representation of it than even what I enjoyed or remember enjoying about the book itself. So
yeah, man, and that's hard when you're doing an adaptation to improve on the source material. That never happens.
No.
There are so many good scenes in episode 9 that you really like. They're all great, like epic almost. Like the
whole thing, absolutely.
The scene with her and Ochiba,
yeah,
where Blackthorn is brought in as a ruse, as like just for them to talk or whatever, was really good, right? Like I thought the chemistry between the actress that played Ochiba and then Asawi, I thought they had really great chemistry.
Well, let me just say this. I just want to say this real quick. Mariko's character in the book and the TV series, the original one, were never meant to be this strong of a character. In 2024, the producers made and allowed and wrote and produced and structured her to be a much more of a central figure in this story, rather than just being a love interest to Blackthorn. It's about her drive and Sonata, obviously Toranaga's drive to become Shogun, but she has placed such a much more central figure in this story than what was previously portrayed in both the book and the previous TV series. That's what really makes this series so much more special, and that's why her demise, her death in episode 9 is much more tragic and much more shocking to viewers, is because you're riding alongside her great performance, especially in that episode, Imran.
Yeah.
And to see it just like snuffed out, like it takes balls to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
To write it like that.
Yeah.
And they, I give them credit for doing that, but still, that left you with the after effects of what went on in episode 10.
I did not see that coming. I did not know the source material, but I never would have guessed like that like you said, to kill off the main character that people love and are invested in. But that's how you know shows are good. That's what it's usually
there has to be consequences.
Not safe. Yeah.
Yes.
Nobody's safe.
No, there has to be consequences. Does anybody want to say anything else about episode 9 before we talk about the Oscar award contending chapter 10?
I feel like we went over 10 already. We know exactly. Yeah. I know exactly where Gerald lands on 10. I'll tell you that.
I think, Imran, if you and I sat down in the studio to write this out, would have come up with something.
Well, here's my question to you guys. Does 10 set up season 2 well, at least? Like I'll put that to you, Imran. Does chapter 10 at least bridge in some way that you already can see in some logical way?
Did they have a plan in mind for a season 2?
That they could go off this where they left off that last chapter in its own space. But do you think it's a good space?
That's a good question, Gerald. When they were writing this, were they even thinking? Because it's a one and done. It's one book. The book ends. The show ends. I don't know if they knew how big of a cultural hit or a hit it was going to be. Now they leave us. They show us. Toranaga tells us what he thinks is going to happen in a month. They show us what he thinks will happen on the battlefield. It doesn't actually happen yet. So they leave us that little tease. Maybe you want to see that part, and maybe that's where the next season starts. Toranaga also alludes to Blackthorn saying he's never going to leave Japan. And I believe the real guy doesn't and has a family.
He doesn't.
And he's like, he'll just build boats and I'll just keep destroying them. It's fine. It's fun. He makes me laugh. So that's why, like, this ending was, for me, the one thing I will agree, Gerald, the ending for me was like so weird and unexpected and going, is that? I didn't think, that's it. I didn't think that was what was going to happen. And I was like, dude, I like this. I don't know. After the amazing run up, it makes sense. It's a good ending. And if that's the book, you're leaving things open. But I don't know. I know Clavel wrote more books, but they take place like 200 years ahead. And Edo eventually becomes Tokyo in real life, and like those the courtesans become geishas, and there's a lot of stuff there. But with Mariko gone, and what do you do with Blackthorn? I do want to see what happens with Blackthorn. All the characters died. I don't know. I don't think they knew. I don't think they were thinking about season 2.
No, I don't think they were thinking of that. But Disney, I'm sure, at some point in time came to them after the success. Obviously we've heard the streaming numbers, not necessarily the FX numbers, but the streaming numbers on Hulu and Disney Plus. They came to them and said, is there a door open? Is there a way we can do this? And obviously seeing the bank, the Brinks truck back up, behind them, they're thinking to themselves, yeah, we can find a way to make this. If they can get Sonata, and obviously they did get Sonata to commit to more seasons, and that was the big key. So if you've got the main guy, the Shogun himself, wanting to go ahead and still find a way to pursue it, I think he was also a producer on the show as well.
Yeah, he was an executive producer.
Yeah, executive producer. So yeah, absolutely. So I think they're finding a way through it. But I'll say this. It was a little bit ahead of everything else as far as what I've seen so far in 2024, outside of my number 2 show at the time, Tokyo Vice Season 2. Tokyo Vice Season 2 ended its season, quite possibly its series, because, HBO never advertised it, and shame on them for doing so, because it's absolutely brilliant all the way through. It's consistently good all the way through. They closed the arc of a 2 seasons arc, but still found a way in that episode, that final episode, to leave a door open just in case. But they closed the arc strong enough that you are satisfied as a consumer. That's why I vaulted Tokyo Vice now to my number 1 show so far this year, is because Shogun didn't do, maybe because like you said, Imran, because they weren't planning on it. They didn't do what Tokyo Vice ultimately did, was that they planned things out yet closed things off very well, and
that's what they needed to do.
Yeah, it just seemed like episode 10 was a tale of 2 different episodes. The first half really bad, and then the second half not that bad, but you're trying to come up from so much just, I guess, after effects of what happened the first half of the show, that
trying to tie all this stuff up in the back half, right? All of a sudden.
The first half is just so much disjointed from the rest of the entire series that I just felt that by the time that he is doing his exposition, that you're saying, oh, he was the mastermind all along, this is not too bad. It's just that I had such a bad taste in my mouth by that time. It was just like, okay, all right.
That's interesting about Tokyo Vice, because I watched the first season of that. I thought it was great. I have not watched the second season. You're saying it's good? Second season?
It is. It's even better than the first. First season was really good. It was on my best of pop culture list for that year.
Yeah.
Season 2 is even better. It's consistently good, episode after episode, and finish off nice.
I heard it was really good. I need to watch it. I was disappointed that we never covered it.
Season 2 is worth your time.
Dude, how crazy is you have Authentic Japan 1600, and then you can watch a show Authentic Japan 2024. Like,
exactly. This kind of access is really greatly appreciated from a cultural standpoint.
Absolutely.
To learn more.
Yeah.
I know that Tokyo Vice was given certain access to certain parts of Tokyo that were never given before, because the real life Yakuza, had to bless. And this does not paint the Yakuza in a great light, but that just shows you how well Tokyo Vice is. But I don't expect Tokyo Vice to get a season 3, because it's been such little advertised. So hopefully,
don't forget about all the free plugging I do for Bandmade too, Gerald. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously, I'm holding it down for J Rock and J Metal over here at the Bleeding Edge. My Bandmade poster.
I feel like you would learn Japanese watching these 2 shows. Like, you learn.
You do, and it's very interesting to understand the culture from a historical and a modern sense.
Yeah,
by watching these 2 shows.
I only learned just enough to figure out how to pillow, to be able to go in and get
Why does that not surprise me in any way, shape, or form?
He just took notes on the pillow.
Yes,
that's all I got out of it, was how to make that work.
I gotta watch Tokyo Vice season 2 now, because I missed.
You should.
Japan.
I highly recommend it.
Okay,
highly recommend it.
That was good.
All right, guys, listen. Why don't we call it there? Honestly, guys, I'm tired. I got some stuff to do. I don't even feel like plugging anything or whatever.
What a way to end the show. I'm tired.
I'm tired. I've got some stuff to do tonight still. Why don't we just kill it? And I'll just thank you guys very much for coming on. And Gerald, I'm glad we were able to actually do a recap show and have it work out and no crappy Wi-Fi or nothing, brother. Look.
Well, hey, as soon as my computer started to wake up, everything was all good.
Hey, you made it, man. Me and Imran had to hold it down. We had to hold the fort down, just the two of us without the full squad.
Imran's so good. He's so good at this. Yeah, it's easy for him.
It's great to see you though, Gerald, man. It was great.
You as well, my friend. We've got to get together again on the air. That's because you were just fantastic, and I truly appreciate the time once again. It's in the archives. You did a great job on my show, and either which way, mine or yours, you're on mine. We have to do this again. Absolutely.
Everybody.
He always comes on my show. So yeah, he's never tired of me.
I'm due to come on. But we're in between cycles of TV series on my show, so that means that stuff is ending and new stuff is starting. The Acolyte's going to start.
Or a warning that you're coming over?
No, we're just it's one of those cycles. Stuff's ending, new stuff's starting. That means it's time for us to talk. X-Men 97, right? Is finished.
It is. It is. People are loving it. Again, for me, it's a little harder because I was already adult in that era, so I didn't grow up with it. But I'm so happy for people that are in that age that that was their afternoon kid show, that are enjoying it thoroughly right now. That is who I'm happy for most. It's good. I think it's good. But to those who that's where it's from, because usually Hollywood lets you down when they bring back these things from your childhood.
Yeah.
And to see Disney and Marvel actually hit a home run with this to people of that age, it makes me feel good, because anytime pop culture resonates that well with an audience, it just reinforces why Imran, myself, and you love so much about pop culture.
Oh, they definitely hit a home run. I mean, you called it.
I feel the same way. No, that's well put. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that is. I think that they really delivered, and they almost took it to a level that I think Marvel Studios never could have expected it could have ended up being as good as it ended up being.
Yeah.
Which just makes it even more crazy to think about, why did they fire that guy Bo, whatever his name is, to begin with? Like,
there's stuff behind the scenes that we aren't privy to. So
no, I get that.
But the show was a little bit of a layup. Like, they could have screwed it up, right? But they had established characters, designs, costumes already. All they had to do is really pick up that tone from the thing, which they did exactly. And
there was also the timing of it too. There was a lack of an X-Men presence in pop culture, right? For a while now, right? And then even what we did have there with the Fox stuff wasn't so good there at the end. So I think there was a vacuum there, right?
Where fun. People are talking about X-Men a lot more now. Deadpool and Wolverine is going to add to that. So it's great to hear, but I don't think we're getting a live action movie for still a couple of years. They just got a writer. I don't think
they're making it sound like that, like they're pushing they're putting the pedal to the metal on that now.
After the multiverse saga, after Secret Wars and Avengers movies, then I think that you bring them in a movie. But
we don't know. Nobody knows at this point and everything and whatnot. But it sounds like, from what I'm hearing, they're moving in a direction where, before Secret Wars even occurs, they might even do it. They want to do a live action film.
We got this.
I think D23 and Comic-Con, you have to keep an eye out for this year.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Especially for a Disney investor. So.
Yeah.
Most definitely. All right, folks, listen. We're gonna do organic. We're gonna do like 1930s plugs, where we're gonna pretend we don't have the internet and the ability to pull up, screen sharing and all that. I'm just going to say, go check out Gerald Glassford over at the Pop Culture Cosmos podcast and YouTube channel. Same thing with Imran over at Jock and Nerd Podcast over on YouTube. Good people, great hosts. Although, Imran, are you a co-host or a host over at Jock and Nerd?
No, there's three of us. What is that? I do all the work. I do all the work. So the other two just show up. I don't know what that is.
And you talk as much shit as everybody, and you but you take as much, you get as much shit.
They terrorize him, and he terrorizes them.
Yes, I do take the abuse. I get abused.
Okay. All right, guys, listen, it was really good to see both of you. Everybody out there, God bless you. We're done with Shogun for the year. I don't want to hear no more. No seppuku threatening, like Gerald said. If you have any thoughts of anything like that, seriously, get help, call somebody or whatever, whatnot, everything, because we don't want to see anything like that happen. And thanks everybody. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace.